No. So we're on,
Well, good afternoon.
there comments on
It's,
that?
I think, 2
Oh,
o'clock.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you for coming to our June 16th, 2026 Board of Directors meeting here at the Lakeside County Water Sewer District. I guess the first item we need to look at is the agenda. Did anybody have any comments, or otherwise we have a motion? That'd be great to approve the agenda.
Go ahead.
I move that we accept the agendas.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
No second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Next item is public comments for item not on the agenda. So since we have quite a few people today, we'd like to limit it probably to 3 minutes if we can, if that should be enough. Thank you.
If you could state your name and where you're from.
Just so it's on the record.
So my name is Mary Flowers. I'm here representing Citizens for a Better Flathead, and we have a number of supporters, members that are part of your district, and we're here representing them as well. I am going to ask for your indulgence because the comments I have are lengthy and cannot be done in 3 minutes. So I'd like to make sure that these be entered into your record
Can I just
orally.
point out, please, I mean, you have everything in writing to us. Everything that you're going to say is also in writing.
The public doesn't have it all, and we have given you, but I would like to make
Yeah,
additional
we're not going to
comments.
go beyond 3 minutes. So.
Well, then we will have this read in by people who are here today. You can either listen to me or you're going to have to listen to other
That's fine,
folks.
we'll do 3 minutes.
So ordinance 26-1 that was passed May 19th is void under Montana law. The 5 independent violations set up below each require standing alone that the board table all further action on this ordinance and obtain legal review before proceeding. And this is the annexation, the ordinance that you passed annexing the Discovery subdivision at your last meeting. This ordinance was adopted as a single meeting in violation of the mandatory 2 reading requirement under MCA 751035. That ordinance requires that it must be read and adopted by a majority vote of members present at 2 meetings of the governing body, not less than 12 days apart. Ordinance 26-1 was introduced and passed at a single meeting on May 19th. 2026 with no prior reading and no 12-day interval. The word must is mandatory. Section 7-5102 makes clear that 75103 through 75107 are mandatory procedural requirements for any local government body that acts by ordinance. MCA 17-13-22743 requires the board to act by ordinance for annexation, and 75103.5 governs how those ordinances are adopted. And then these are MCA 713-2275 supplements. It addresses voting standards, form, execution of the district's ordinance, but it says nothing about the reading procedure. The legislature modified the threshold of 713-2275, 1, while leaving the 2 reading requirements untouched. The silence is not an exception. No local ordinance exempts the district. The district's own Ordinance 11-2, Article X1, Section B provides, where these regulations are in conflict with other laws, regulations, ordinance, or resolutions, the more restrictive requirements shall apply, or those of a higher authority shall prevail. State statute is a higher priority. The MSU Local Government Center Model Rules of Procedure for Water and Sewer Districts apply the 2 reading requirement to all ordinances. other Montana County water and sewer districts operating under the same Title 713 routinely comply with it. A pattern of internal noncompliance does not create a legal exception
Thank you,
from the
Mary.
mandatory statute command that the ordinance be adopted through 2 readings and votes on separate
Can you
dates.
please wrap it up, Mary?
I will. Because of the district has only made 1 reading of the vote, the ordinance is not effective and cannot be implemented as it stands.
Thank you very much.
Who would like to go next?
Mary,
It's
I have
starting
a
with
copy
you.
of those handouts.
And I will at the end of the
Oh,
meeting.
okay.
Jennifer Tipton, 123 Crabtree Lane. The board made no capacity determination in the record, and the record cannot support a finding that surplus capacity exists. MCA 713-23415 authorizes election-free annexation only if the board of directors determines that the district has capacity greater than required to meet the needs of the current district. That determination is a statutory prerequisite, not a formality. At the May 19th meeting, no capacity evidence was presented, no analysis was adopted, and no findings were made. An oral assertion by district staff, unsupported by any evidence in the record, does not constitute a determination within the meaning of the statute. Under North 93 Neighbors Incorporated versus Board of County Commissioners of Flathead County, 2006, Montana 132, a governing body must develop a factual record sufficient to support its decision and to facilitate judicial review. A board that leaves no tracks abuses its discretion. The record also cannot support a surplus finding. Under Section 4A of the March 18, 2025 Wastewater and Water Service Agreement, the district is contractually obligated to reserve the greater of 400 EDUs or 92,000 gallons per day for Flathead Friends LLC, the same entity whose property Ordinance 26-1 purports to annex, for a period of 10 years. The district's April 2026 capacity summary deducts only 34,500 gallons per day for Discovery Land, reflecting the 150 EDUs for which will serve letters have been issued. The remaining 57,500 gallons per day of contractual reservation does not appear in the ledger. When that obligation is properly accounted for, the claimed surplus of 15,393 gallons per day is eliminated entirely. The omission of all existing contractual service obligations while alleging a surplus exists is fatal to an election-free annexation proposal. The district cannot classify as a surplus the capacity it is already contractually committed to the very property it seeks to annex. To this point, the district accepted $208,100 in non-refundable reservation fees and issued Flathead Friends a 10-year capacity hold on this property. To now count that same capacity as surplus available to satisfy the statutory prerequisite for annexing that same property is to count it twice. Once as committed under contract and once as surplus under statute. That is not a finding of excess capacity, rather it is confirmation that no surplus exists. The capacity deficit is also independently confirmed by the March 2024 interlocal agreement with Flathead County. Under that agreement, the district accepted $611,235.09 in fees in exchange for contractually reserving 20,000 gallons per day for regional septage, receiving, and treatment, a reservation that escalated to its full 60,000 gallon per day level in March 2025, regardless of whether the facility is operational. The district has sold a total of 152,000 to 160,000.
Can you wrap it up then, Jennifer?
Oh, sure. I have 4 lines left.
Okay.
In capacity rights to 2 separate oversold its capacity cannot represent to its own board that a surplus exists. The board must require its staff to produce written findings fully explaining existing commitments against existing treatment and disposal capacity and make a record-based finding of surplus on such analysis. Omission of this critical step violates plain legal requirements for election-free annexation proposals.
Thank you.
Kate Droll, 501 Archery Road. The district cannot make the water rights certification required under MCA 7-13-2226. It was enacted in 2025 and requires a certification that an appropriate water right exists for the connection before water service may be provided to a subdivision. No water right has been vested in the district's name for the Discovery subdivision. The district's DNRC water permit application remains unresolved and is actively contested. A stay has been granted by the district court. Therefore, the district cannot make the certification that the statute requires. The district's own rules and regulations found in Ordinance 11-2, Section 14F, independently require that the water rights status be considered before accepting an annexation application. Number 4, no petition for annexation was filed as required under MCA 7-13-2340. A statute provides that annexation of contiguous territory is initiated by a petition from property owners to the board. No document styled as a statutory petition appears in the board's publicly available record for the May 19th meeting. Number 5, the board has not performed the mandatory assessment recalculation required by MCA 7-13-23416C and 7-12-21514. Annexation automatically triggers a statutory obligation to protect existing ratepayers. 7-13-23416C provides that after any annexation, the total number of lots, tracts, or parcels in the district must be recalculated pursuant to 7-12-21514. That section requires the board to recalculate the per lot assessment obligation for any outstanding bonded indebtedness and to comply with the notice and hearing requirements of MCA 7 or sections 7-12-2158 through 2160 before any recalculated assessment takes effect. The board has disclosed nothing about the district's bonded indebtedness structure, performed no recalculation, and held no hearing. This failure independently deprives existing ratepayers of statutory protections and they are entitled to before any assessment obligation is modified. The board must immediately take the following actions. 1, table ordinance 26-1 and all related actions immediately and retain independent legal counsel to review the deficiencies identified in this letter before any further board action. 2, provide the factual record, if any, that the board contends supports a finding of surplus capacity under MCA 7-13-23415. Disclose the full capacity commitment letter, including the 92,000 to 100,000 gallons per day reservation under the March 2025 service agreement and the 60,000 gallons per day reservation under the March 2024 interlocal agreement with Flathead County.
Good. Start 4?
Yeah, start with 4.
Okay. Tandy Kidd, 714 Lakeside Boulevard. Again, this is under the demands section. Number 4 is produce the petition for annexation submitted by Flathead Friends LLC or acknowledge that none was filed. Number 5, withdraw the registration of the annexation of the Flathead Lake Club that was submitted to the county and to the Montana Secretary of State as not ripe for submission under 7-13-2341. Number 6, provide a complete and independently verified engineer-stamped record of the district's sewer and water capacity to ratepayers and as expressed to the Montana Department of Environmental Quality before any additional property is annexed. Number 7, identify any additional properties that have been annexed without adequate capacity available at the time of annexation and take appropriate action to nullify that annexation. Number 8, produce the capacity summary follow-up requested by DEQ in its March 28, 2025 capacity memorandum, EQ number 25-2193, which is now overdue, including the number of active EDUs, average annual influent, winter influent, October through March, and a full accounting of current district capacity commitments. Number 9, release the Lakeside Water Sewer District rate study immediately. It is a public document paid for with some $70,000 of public and or federal ARPA funds and is subject to the public's constitutionally protected right to know and participate in decisions by this board whether or not this document is still in draft form or is awaiting board adoption. Number 10, identify the water right the district intends to rely upon to provide water service to the Discovery Flathead Lake Club subdivision. Number 11, the deficiencies identified above are not matters of reasonable interpretation. Each is a clear violation of a mandatory statutory requirement. The board is on formal notice that any action to implement, extend, or otherwise give effect to ordinance 26-1, including issuing service connections, implementing assessments, or executing agreements in reliance on it, may result in litigation. Respectfully submitted, Mary Flowers, Director, Citizens for a Better Flathead.
Thank you very much.
You can use your remaining time if you want.
Oh, you have ready.
Okay.
Are there any other public comments?
Maggie Davis, Lakeside. For months, if not years, I've talked about not having accounting for current capacity, number of ratepayers, number of hookups, and I've asked for the number of outstanding will serve agreements, and I've asked for a number of will serves that include expiration dates. Obviously, all that information has come to a head, and my feeling is that shortcuts and workarounds by the board in the past have cost the ratepayers a lot of money, and the district has had to assume legal costs, and the time and money and public trust that the Lakeside County Water and Sewer District has among its current customers has been eroded. However, it's never too late to get it right and go back to the drawing board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Okay, with that, we close the public comment period. Moving down to the consent agenda. I don't know, Rodney, if you want to, I can explain the consent agenda. I don't know, Darcy, do you have any questions on that, or are you?
If you can explain it, it would help.
The best way to explain it, those are items usually there every month on the agenda for us, and these are just packaged in one single motion potentially, unless one of the board members has questions on a particular item, and then they could request it to be pulled out of the consent agenda, and then we can separately talk about it. Otherwise, typically if there's no other discussion on it, it just goes through the motion and the second for those items, and then we would move on. So, Rodney,
They're basically things that happen every month, you know, with financials, the financial report for you to review, you know, when we send out the board package, and then if we come to the board meeting and there's something that you want to pull out, then we pull that out and discuss it. Otherwise, we pass the consent agenda as a whole.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, are there any questions on the consent agenda?
I did not have any. No, sir.
Okay, do you guys want to?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Moving to old business, mission statement and guiding principles update.
Yeah, just to bring you up to speed, you remember last month this was on the agenda, and this was what we brought to the table last month, which is on the screen. We took public comment and we decided to table it, and after doing that, Rebecca and I looked at it and made a few changes to it. These are the changes on this one that we made. We sent it out to the board for comment. Didn't receive any back. So we're bringing it back to the table, basically as is right here with these changes. And open the discussion.
I think the additions are just what needed to be said, and I agree with the wording, short and sweet and to the point.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it was good changes. I think the mission statement, having a flatted lake there is the number one thing that needs to be there.
Maybe explain for Darcy, if just where it came from and why we decided to do it. I guess it's something that maybe Rodney, you could explain a little better.
Yeah, so, we hired a PR firm to kind of look at our website, help us with things and how we're getting things out to the public. This was just something that we discovered in that process, and it was suggested that we update this. We're really not departing from the original that far, it's just an updated look. Just tweaked it a bit to fit today's message that we want to get out to the public.
This would be on the webpage then, or?
Yes, this will be on the webpage. This will be in other documents. Could be on buildings, on a plaque, those kind of things. So it gives us something to use in other avenues.
May I make a comment?
Yeah.
I think if anything, was a little delayed in having a PR firm representing it, because I think that could have been done earlier, but, it's like you don't do things until you see a need, it's obvious, but I don't think this interpretation is good. Continue.
Well, 1997, the year.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one up there.
Oh, the last one? Yeah.
So everybody has been able to read what our guiding principles have been since 1997. It's been in print and they've been here, so.
Yeah.
Well, what would the board like to do?
I make a motion that we adopt it with the changes that were presented us today.
Okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Do we have any, I guess we should have public comments.
You can have, yeah.
We can still have one. Sorry, I missed that one. Is there any public comments regarding the mission statement?
Wherever you post this mission statement, again, this Mary Flowers Citizens for Bear Flathead, I am still concerned that going to your website, it's very hard to find things, particularly the timing of your meetings. You've not updated your website to include that. I would think that you need maybe a sidebar or something that if someone wanted to quickly access documents like this, they would be easier to find. I think a follow-up step to this that a lot of communities do is not only adopt a mission statement and goals, but they evaluate what they've done during the year to achieve those. And I think that should become an annual report where you can show us and we can understand where you feel like you need to put more effort into achieving something or where you feel like you have been successful in achieving something. Thank you.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you refer to we, are you indicating just your group or the populace in general, or who is we?
So I'm likely referring to our group and the population in general. I'm not sure the specific time I use that in my comments just now, but when I say we, general public, when I go to your website on behalf of the general public, I have a difficult time finding information. And I think your minutes are buried, lots of things that are regularly, that the public would want to have a quick access to. The report webpage that you have for the engineering firm. A lot of that stuff is so buried, it's hard to find.
Thank you.
May I make a comment? I know I'm new.
No, you're open.
Something that helped me a little bit in regard to the website was when I first became involved, Rebecca explained, if you can help kind of explain, it's a new web program, right? And you're a little bit limited.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's designed for small districts. The Rural Water Compact, I think, is the post. I don't know all the right words, but it's kind of like a cookie cutter package, and then we can customize certain fields, but we don't have the same flexibility that we had with WordPress before,
Right.
where we could kind of manipulate everything.
And it's used by a lot of small water and sewer districts around the country and in Montana, and even locally in the Flathead County. The same website provider, because they do cater to water and sewer districts. One of the things that's different with this website is the drop-down menus, which we did not have on our other website. So it's pretty standard to the way you go to something, and people are used to drop-downs and so on. And so we have drop-downs to find those things. We have all of our minutes, all of our agendas are on there. They're very, the drop-down menu, you can click on it, see them. Other districts don't have that. They take you to the county. You gotta go look through the county's records. They have a link on there to get there. We actually host ours on there. So there's a lot of good differences that came with this website and why we chose to do it. And then there's an affordability aspect to them catering to water and sewer districts.
I think that it's a good point that Mary brought up, and it just helped me to understand why the changes haven't just expeditiously been produced. I think that we can look and see if there's anything else to add, but we are restricted a little bit by the new program. I wasn't involved with the old program, so I can't really speak to that.
If I remember, the old was kind of a free-for-all.
Yeah.
We came up ourselves. And
Yeah, we had to design it.
it worked, but it was limited, so.
Could I just add a drop-down menu, like you're talking about, could be date and time of monthly meeting. And that would be a simple thing that your format would allow.
We'll certainly, I know Rebecca will take it, and we'll certainly take a look at it, if there's a way we can improve it.
And we have looked at that, and we can continue to look at it if it comes up. But there's certain things that you can name of importance on those drop-down menus as far as on the titles. And so we have to feel what are those important drop-down messages that we want on those tabs along the top. And that's just a one-item tab that you're wanting, and we only have a limited space on that. So we will continue to look at it and continue to see if there's ways that come up. They're always doing things, improvements to the website, so they may improve something that might be able to use as a tool there. So,
Thank you. Okay, oh, go ahead.
Hi, Tina Agather, 920 Lakeside Boulevard. The question about the time and date seems like probably the most important thing that people are looking for on your website. I am as a great user, so maybe that could be a priority. I mean, if you can't do everything, I sure would recommend you have the time and date real clear for people. Thanks.
Could it just be on the main page? Like, instead of being on a drop-down menu, could you just put it like right on the main page? Like, monthly meeting,
we'll
whatever?
continue to look.
Sorry, okay.
Okay.
We hardly ever change the date of the move of the
It's
meeting.
been the same since 19.
But you could put like third Tuesday of the month at 2 o'clock.
I know.
Okay,
And if you look under agendas, it's usually there. Yeah. It's right under the board meeting and agendas. It's the third Tuesday at 2 o'clock, but we can look and see if there's anywhere else to add it.
we'll do some blinking lights.
Again, there's only
Yeah,
so, there's only
that's
so
what they're
much we
asking
can do
for.
on that
It's
main
blinking
page.
lights.
So,
We'll see if we can.
we will look at it.
Thank you. Moving down to new business, Discovery Land Company letter from the board.
Yeah, and so this is a letter that actually Mark Lichty drafted up as an idea, and after looking at it, I thought, rather than it being from Mark itself, that we would bring it to the board and it would look a little more formal. Coming from the board, I thought it was a good idea to address them in that way and to kind of, you know, pose it to them from the board as a whole instead of just an individual. And so that's the reason we're bringing it to you today. So again, it's primarily about the extra things that we want to try and accomplish on top of our original plan, which is the SBR treatment in the groundwater discharge permit. So we are designing around those changes, which are some membrane and PFAS and pharmaceutical removal before it goes out to the groundwater discharge permit. So we want to bring that to their attention and to their board's attention, not just to our local contact. And we want to kind of have it more of a formal presentation. And I think you've all had time to look at it, whatever, so I'll turn it back over to Mark.
I guess my point on the letter was initially just what Rodney explained. I just felt like, you know, we would like to do more if we can, and if we can find some help financially. We would like to integrate that into the final system. We've always said we'd like to have the best system possible that we can afford reasonably, and so I guess this is just an attempt on my side, and if everybody remembers, we're also obviously working with the senators and congressmen. We're basically working with every angle that we can. If we have private funding, even at some point, if that's available, we look for that too, or support at least from organizations that would like to do that. So with that, I just open it up to the board. I guess if there's any specific comments or
I think you're right.
changes we'd like to do.
This is an excellent idea. I would even set it on the agenda to go up, could be set out every 3 months or a month or whatever you think would be appropriate. Because it's a squeaky wheel. I mean, that's the same theory. So let them know that we're still here.
Yeah, good idea.
Oh, go ahead, Tim. You go first.
I read it, and I've done a lot of stuff over the years with the city and developers and stuff like that. I don't want my name on it. I don't think this is the right thing to be doing. I don't think we need to be, there's just, there's such a toxic thing with Discovery right now. I have just a lot of different mixed, I've actually talked to some people that are in similar positions about this type of thing. And, you know, in my past, when you had a developer coming in with a subdivision, you know, if you had sidewalks that you needed to have put in and sewer lines, you required that as part of the development and that infrastructure that was there. But, and we did a large upgrade with the city sewer plant, and that ended up going on all of the ratepayers to take care of the upgrades to make it work, as well as impact fees. So there's some other funding sources to do it. The development, the lots up there would be subject to impact fees if we did something like that. That's not a bad thing to do, because impact fees pay for a bigger pipe to take more stuff through, you know, for their infrastructure type things. But I read the letter a couple different times. The first part of the letter's great. You know, it kind of talks about us and everything, but it's that last part of asking for money, help. And I don't want to do it with these guys. I'm sorry. I don't know enough about what all of the improvements are, but I just have there's a gut feeling, and I don't know how to explain it. What does this do down the road with the relationship with Discovery? Are there going to be more things that are going to be asked upon? Because, I mean, if we get $5 million, I know they've done a lot of stuff right now, but it's like buying into it. It's like becoming kind of an owner in a sense. And I'd rather have the district stand on its own 2 feet and be able to take care of this, whether it's doing bonds, or we're going out and finding the finances, or doing impact fees. I'd rather have that than beholden to an entity like this that, to be honest with you, has got some reputation issues already here. And this is just something I think it's gonna add more to that. You know, if my name's on this and they give us the $5 million and then they wanna run the pipe down to Hockaday Bay, which I've heard the talk of, am I beholden to say, okay, you can run it down there because you gave us $5 million? I don't need that on my shoulders or over my head at all,
I agree.
as an elected official.
Yeah, I certainly don't, yeah.
None of us do.
No, certainly not.
So I don't think we've exhausted sources yet to get to this point of asking. And then I could go on and talk more and more, but I just personally don't want my name to be on it. I don't think we should be sending this. That's me.
Any other comments?
And I think this is just keeping Discovery aware of the situation. I don't see where we're trying to cut out of them to, in the future, to have money sent to us or given to us and have them tell us what to do with it. I just don't see what that's alluded to here. I'm sorry.
I think in the second to last paragraph,
You
it
scroll down.
actually says, helping close the estimated $5 million funding gap associated with these advanced treatment improvements. So helping close that gap, to me, says, can you help us find the $5 million?
Well, it is, and let me give you a little back story on that too, is that they do, I was told that they have a philanthropy department, right? So that, basically, that they do things like that, like you said with sidewalks, or
Yeah.
maybe the chamber is working with them to do other things and like that. You know, I don't have any clue what that is, but.
Right.
So I was just told they have a philanthropy department. This is a no strings attached. We owe them nothing in any other, we already have our agreement with them, right? So we
Right, yeah.
So, and I think you have a lot of wisdom in what you just said. I'm just giving you some back.
Yeah,
story
no, I
about
understand it.
Where it came from.
And I wasn't here on the board when all of the service extension and all of those agreements were put together, and the upgrade agreements, I wasn't part of that. But I think there's a line in this that maybe shouldn't be crossed like this with this type of because to me, it reads as a request for help.
Darcy?
I had a couple thoughts.
Okay.
First of all, I think the goal to achieve the highest level of wastewater treatment is imperative. When we're putting this much money in, I think we need to go ahead and put the filtration system in. To me, that's not an alternative. I think that's really important. I think that as far as Discovery goes, they're asking to be annexed in, be part of it. The ratepayers, somewhere that money has to come from. The ratepayers are gonna bear it. I think Discovery needs to bear it. Personally, I read it several times too, and I don't have the expertise Tim has. I felt it was very soft. If I were writing it, I'd say we'd like to request you participate with us in funding this. This is why it's going to protect for futures. We're not just doing phase 1 and 2 for the next 5 years. We need to do the very best possible thing we can do. And I would personally reword it some to say we request that you share in this financial burden, because it is a burden on the ratepayers at the end of the day. So I felt if the letter goes forward, we really need to think about how to ask. It's not like, oh gosh, would you be interested? It's, if you want to be part of it, you need to participate.
Sorry, nobody ever called me soft. I was just kidding.
No, I'm sorry.
I appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
No,
trying
no,
to pick a
I appreciate it very
time.
much. I'm not the best writer, I'm from Switzerland, as you know. For me, it's, I call it Swinglish at times, so I tried to, and it was just an idea.
And I
but
thought it was well done, don't.
I have no problem, I have no problem with
It
having it
was just
tabled
from
to-
my perspective
No.
and asking
I appreciate it very much.
in my business how I would go about it.
Can I have you just clarify that last comment you made about if you want to be a part of it? You said, like, you'd make it stronger if you want to be a part of it. What does that mean then? If you want to be a part of what? I just didn't understand where you.
I just meant it's a cumulative thing for this generation, generations to come, including Discovery. They want annexed in, they want to be part of the district. We all need to participate in making that happen. That's how I meant it.
Okay, that's what I needed to hear.
Any comments? Mr. Bridges?
Public comment too.
Any public comments?
Margaret Davis, Lakeside. I only had to read this once to say this is not appropriate.
Okay.
It is the same kind of solicitation you get from a nonprofit going to a potential donor, and in your role as a public agency, a county water district, these are impact-related fees that are contractual. I think Tim hit the nail on the head, that you as a board need to secure these kinds of obligations from any potential developer at the get-go, when the project is proposed, when things are in order, when bids are received, and so on, so that everybody, including the public, the ratepayers, has a clue about what the obligations are. I have looked at Discovery's website, their philanthropic website on GuideStar, so on. They use those funds in areas where they have projects for things like storm relief in the Caribbean and things like that. This is not above and beyond infrastructure that is needed by this developer to make their project go. And because I think you're going to have to go back and redo some things, by all means include any additional expenses that are attributable to the Discovery developments, 3 of them that are currently in progress, and get them in writing and get good legal assistance and do it correctly. Thank you. But this letter doesn't cut it.
Mary Flowers, Citizens for a Better Flathead. I would also second what Maggie said and Tim said. I feel this is an inappropriate ask of this nature, and I think it does taint future decisions that you may, as a board, need to make regarding that development in particular. I think this board should table this letter until the new board members in particular have gotten a chance to read the agreement that you entered into with Territory 1889, which caps the amount that you can increase the rates that they are being charged. And it has different financial clauses in that agreement that if you haven't read those, you should not vote on this letter today until you understand that. Additionally, while we appreciate the fact that you are looking at additional, and as you said recently on the tour, which I don't know if the board even knew that they could have come to that county commissioner tour of the facility. It wasn't well noticed to the public either, but at that meeting you indicated that you were interested in improving the treatment of the water. Before you go out and publicly ask for more funds, the ratepayers and the public deserve to know the quality of the membrane system you're going to be putting in. is it really going to be the tipping point that's going to make a difference given the science on this site? We need to see actual figures, the type of system that you're looking at. I think it would be highly improper for anyone to donate to a vague statement that we want to add some additional systems without knowing the quality and the
Thank you.
level of improvement those would make.
Any other comments?
I do. I'm Tanya Kidd, 714 Lakeside Boulevard. So I concur with what was said here, including you, Darcy, because it seems like something is needed and we need to understand exactly what that is and how much it'll cost. And anybody participating should be subject to that cost. But I guess my question here is, so the agreement that you mentioned in your comment, is that something that's on the,
No.
we can read? Because I'm not sure if I've seen that. So the agreement, and it actually caps the rates that can be charged, you mentioned. So is there a way I can see that agreement?
Just
You can
public
always fill
comment.
out a FOIA, but,
Is that what it is?
Tanya, I can get you a copy of this.
We're just taking comments.
Oh, okay, well,
Well, I
Thank you.
think her comment is it should be a public document that is easily on your website.
Which it is. I think you can request it from Rebecca.
request it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other public comments? Otherwise, well, what do you want to do? I mean, I'm certainly fine, since it was my start of the letter, I'm fine tabling it or get rid of it if that's so be it. I mean, we are charging them the same or more, obviously, based on their agreements, like everybody else has ever paid in this district. They pay for all the infrastructure improvements that they have to do. None of us paid for the improvements between Summers and Lakeside. So overall, they're paying certainly their fair share, I believe so. And then they pay the same hookup fees like a single homeowner does, and anybody else for that matter. So this would have been in addition to. So we're not giving them a break, we're not asking them for a deal.
So, yeah, and I'll piggyback off of that. Regardless of what we do with the letter, just for being on the record, we have been open to the public and what we were gonna do. When we made the agreement with Discovery, it's based on the fact that doing an SBR plant, everything that we're doing today that we're involved with, right? This is something extra that we're, because of public opinion and whatever, we know that we can meet our discharge permit. We know that we're happy with that. This was something extra, went down the road. That's why we went out to the congressman and applied for some more funding. We've got different kinds of things that, it's like to say the membrane, what kind of membrane treatment is it going to be? Well, we're still working with the manufacturer, right? So this is just, we've shot some things out for some extra funding because we would like to do that, right? We still may do that, Darcy, is to your point, right? We still may build the membrane. We might do the funding in a whole different way, where we cannot charge them more plant investment fees because of it, because we already have an agreement with what we're doing with plant investment fees. But can we do a bond that encompasses, and we're studying that, in the things that are going to come out with that? We're hopefully in the final stages of being able to present that to the board as far as the engineering firm that's doing the rates, and we're trying to figure all this into it. We've got a lot of moving parts, and that's why it's taken so long, because of the different pivots that we've done. But if we may address it that way, through some type of an assessment bond that encompasses their property up there. They would participate in that, the whole thing. But this is just another aspect of something we were kind of shooting out there, right? To make the need known, that they want to participate in it, that kind of thing. But there's no string attached to it, like that they're going to get any favor because they did it or anything like that. And I understand
Yeah.
though, Tim, what you're saying.
I know.
I'm just, even the look of it, right, can say, well, they did that because they gave them $5 million.
You know what they say about perception?
I get it.
I would perceive this totally different, obviously. Discovery, if I'm correct, is a pretty well-funded organization. And as such, they want to endear themselves to the communities that they deal with. And I thought, well, this is the type of letter, they have this money sitting that they can invest, but it's like, well, you have to ask for it. You have to say, we need this, and we're part of the area, and we can't send right to a check unless there's a request for it. That's how I interpret it, just an initial request.
Just to know that there's a need.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the CEO of this company, I wouldn't just start passing out checks, if somebody shows me a need, then okay.
Well, if they look at our agendas, now they know.
Well, I mean, if you'd like to rework the letter, I'd be very interested in seeing your interpretation.
I wouldn't do a letter. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
And also, we just, this is an example by putting the names on there. Even if the thing passed, if you chose to make a vote and two people didn't want their name on there, we certainly
Right.
do it that way also
Yeah.
and remove the name. So it's just, we just presenting it to you for discussion and to see where it went.
I think it's good for the awareness that you presented it. It just appears to me that more information is needed and whatnot before we even consider any alternative.
See, I think that would be the follow-up letter or meeting or whatever. We recognize, we want to help, we have a need, explain to me why, where, how.
We need to be prepared to explain it,
Oh,
though. That's
sure.
why I'm thinking we should
Absolutely.
table it till we're prepared.
This is opening the door.
Yeah.
I interpret it.
So, do we need a motion to table it, or do we?
You take however you want to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys, however.
I'm torn on, I see the points of
No.
everybody, I think it's best to, I'll make a motion to table it.
Okay, we have a motion to table.
I guess, and I guess just so I'm clear, as far as what I do with it next, what do I, are we tabling it for what purpose? To
Rework it or
to
to take it out?
reword it, or to, I guess I don't know what the tabling means. Because you wouldn't write the
If you-
letter at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you're tabling it, then you're making, you can say, I've tabled it for 2 meetings from now, or 6 months from now, or never from now, because you can.
Yeah, I mean, there's
You
other
can do
avenues of
that,
funding
but
it.
you're gonna, if you table an item, it does have to come back up
Right.
at some point in time and be resolved.
I would like to know if there are other organizations.
Unless you say indefinitely.
Should we just put it on hold then?
Yeah.
We can just not send it out.
That would be my suggestion, if there's that, you've got enough uncertainty about it, I mean, I would suggest that we, maybe if we still feel the need later, we'll bring it up and talk about it, and about rewording it, once you get more information, or, I don't know, but.
One more thing and then I'll get off it. Do you have any evidence that Discovery has done this in other locations, this type of framework?
I really don't. No, I really don't. It's just that it's just through conversations. Again, it's just knowing who they are and knowing, we thought if they want a good gesture with the public, right, which we said in here, right? So that, just, looking with the public, a way that you could say, we realize you guys are wanting to go above and beyond the call of what you originally were gonna plan and do. And yes, we would like to participate in that. So that was kind of where this came from. Because it is something that was not in our original plan. So, and I'm not saying we're not gonna still find a way to build it.
Right.
We're planning to build the building right now. It's designed to be able to handle this. So we still through that. But,
Rodney, am I correct in understanding that you're kind of pursuing more information on the filter and,
we already have from Aqua Aerobics doing the SBR, we have a quote
Okay.
from a products manufacturer.
so we have a
to
pretty
provide
good idea of the cost?
of the cost
Okay.
and the PFAS and pharmaceutical equipment that would go in the building. We needed that in order to design the building footprint big enough to
Right.
handle it and the plumbing. So we wanted to have a really good idea of what that would take.
Okay.
So that is in the, we've got good concrete
Thank you.
evidence of what that is.
Well,
I think we should table it for 30 days.
we can
I
start,
think
there's
to
a
Ronnie's
motion.
point, are we rewording it in the 30 days, or are we
I guess
just
that's what I'm
tabling the
wondering, like,
discussion?
what are we gonna do with it in 30 days? Bring it back up for discussion, or what? Because I mean, in order for it to get discussed, we have to discuss it.
Right.
So it's
So do you
like,
want it, like, maybe reworked, or just,
Well, I would be interested in seeing it reworded, without, tempting to think it needs a different way of going, but he doesn't want it at all, so I don't, you want to work it, or you make a phone call probably to accomplish the same thing, I don't know.
Is that a motion?
Here's a motion on the
I
table.
need to know.
Do we have a second?
What do we have?
I make a motion that we table this for 6 months until we know a little bit more about what the actual cost may be and how current funding searches are resulting in, I'm going to say it.
To be brought out if,
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Pull same sign.
all right.
Okay. Sorry, I'm never gonna bring these up again.
You are in 6 months.
Moving on to the next item. Lakeside CMAR agreement, Lakeside collection work authorization number 1. That's the Rodney thing.
A Rodney thing. So actually, I was gonna start in a different place here. Because we have new board members and bring people up to speed. Sorry, I need just a minute here. Okay. Okay. So I'm just for reference about these two documents where we're at today. These two documents have to do with the collection system upgrades, which are scheduled to be improved through Lakeside, starting right here on our gravity main, which is on the south end of Lakeside. Working through Lakeside, these lines are 8 inches, they need to be upsized. And so this collection system has been a part of the agreement with Discovery, and we've had public hearings, open houses on it in the past as far as upgrading this. But they go through town right here. to this manhole and this gravity line which goes into lift station 5. So it's all of this through Lakeside, right here. This is, and where I want to point that out, in the agreement with Discovery Land, because they're paying for that.
This is the one I emailed you about, isn't it? Remember I heard the rumors in town.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
This
yes,
is that one.
yep. So, go to page 5. I'm gonna start on number 5. This is a temporary connect to the existing wastewater main. So prior to recording of the first approval of final plat of phase 1, developers shall provide connection to the district's existing wastewater main leading to the district's existing lift station 10 for phases 1 at developer's expense. So going back to the map, what that is what you see happening right now south of town on Political Hill Road, where, again, you travel that, Tim. So
Oh,
that-
yeah, I got some choice words for that. Right?
Yeah, so that, what that connection is where they're going to bore under the highway right here. That's, I think, going on this week or next, the bore, but what they've already done is laid the pipe in the ground on Political Hill Road. And this is something they designed, we approved with our engineers and provided the, they paid our engineers to inspect that for us as they laid that, but it's gonna connect right here.
They pay design.
They paid the design,
Inspection,
inspection,
construction.
and everything, so this is nothing that we paid for. But this is what's in the agreement right there, is that they're gonna provide that temporary connection that's gonna go to lift station 10. So that connects there, that flows down into here, into lift station 10, right here, which pumps through to lift station 11, which then pumps up to these gravity mains up here, which flow north then. So that's what they're taking care of right now, and so then if you go down in this, it says state on the agreement. Let me go back to that. And I'm just gonna help you, because I know Darcy, you're just kind of reading through some of that stuff. So right below that, right, so it says phase 1 at developer's expense. When the district sewer improvements for phases 3 and 5 discussed below is constructed, developers shall disconnect from this temporary connection at developer's expense with the district supervision and approval, and all future wastewater flow for phases 1 through 5 shall flow through the upgraded infrastructure no longer using lift station 10. So that's the temporary connection while we're building these other infrastructure upgrades in order for them to work. So then we move down here to how that works, stages 2 through 3. Says the district will hire the engineer. Following execution of this agreement, the district shall hire Robert Pesh and Associates, the engineer, to design the district sewer improvements and district sewer upsizing for stage 2 and 3. The district shall cause the design of the district sewer improvements and district sewer upsizing for stage 2 to be, which is what this is, and, which I'll show you. Stage 2 is right here on the next page. Infrastructure improvements, stage 2, 100% paid by developer. And that's this downtown Lakeside project. So the district shall cause the design of district sewer upsizing for stage 2 to be submitted to the DEQ within 90 days following date of this agreement. It's already been submitted to the DEQ, it's been approved by the DEQ. We've already gone out through our GCCM, which is Swank, who's doing our phase 1 improvements, and they've already gone out to bid, and we have Strode as the subcontractor that was chosen through the bid process to do this work down here, being overseen by Swank and our engineers.
Can you explain maybe what they're doing, or are you gonna say that later?
Yeah. What do you mean?
What are they improving?
Yeah, that's on the map. I'm just kind of getting you up to speed in the agreement so you can see that these are things that we've agreed upon in the original agreement. So it basically, you know, this is leading up to that. Here's the part here in number 8. It talks, the parties in good faith anticipate at least the following improvements are necessary. Sewer improvement stage 1, 100% paid by the developer. Is that part of the, part of the project down here that they are already doing, right? So that's what that paragraph is saying.
That's the 5,000.
So A is this, yep, they're installing 5,000 feet of linear gravity main to the project manhole A. So they designed that, and our district engineer approved the design, and we're inspecting that as they put it in. So then B is the infrastructure improvements for stage 2, 100% paid by developer, and that is to replace or improve approximately 720 feet. 1,720 feet, linear feet of gravity main, upsizing and depicted in Exhibit C. It says the district shall design and build these infrastructure upgrades, and the district shall invoice the developer for 100% of the cost. And so what that means here basically is that there's going to be a combination. Again, they've already, their GCCM has already, our engineers designed it, sent it through the DEQ, got it approved. The GCCM, which is Swank, did the bidding process and went out to bid for the subcontractors to do so some of these gravity mains are gonna have to be open dug. Some of them are gonna be pipe bursted, so we can, the ones that can be pipe bursted, because some of them are different sizes than others, and so we can fit within the 2 upsize and actually pipe burst them and not have to open trench and be so intrusive.
That's good.
So there's going to be a combination of both through there. We've met with the highway department, multiple meetings with them, as far as making sure we're in their good graces and whether they want to see through that project. And so all of that upfront work has already been done for that. And we do still plan on having in mid-July, this work is scheduled to start October 1st. In the middle of July, I think around the 14th, and we're going to put this out to the public and everything and but have an open house. We're going to do flyers to the businesses in Lakeside. Some of them have already been talked to come to that open house, talk to engineers, talk to the Strode will be there, have representation, talk to them about the highway plans, what are their needs as far as a business, you know, ingress, egress, and, you know, the schedule of how we're going to keep in communication, because their plan is to start at the north end up here and work south. And so there's going to be time, and they're going to work within sections. So the highway department don't want them to, you know, obstruct the highway in certain ways as a whole, but if they work in sections from manhole to manhole, get that completed, and then work from the next manhole to the next manhole type of thing. So
This is not including the lift station yet.
this is not including any lift stations. This is just this section of pipe in this project right here.
And this will not occur during the summer tourist season.
This is starting August 1st.
August or
August or
October?
October?
August 1st.
I thought I heard October.
August 1st.
That's what I was
And
thinking.
so they need to have time to be able to get these improvements done and then asphalt. And so because it's highway, there's, you know, different types of asphalt, different types of specs.
Because October, yeah, you're getting close to hot plants shutting down. So.
Right, so, and the highway department approved for them to finish, get the asphalt done and do the chip seal. They'll still stripe it, they'll have to restripe it after they chip seal in the spring of 27.
What's the timeline? So August 1st to,
I think it's October, yeah,
okay.
yeah, August 1st to October. They'll finish asphalting beginning of October. It's kind of like the airport runway thing. You have to do it when you can asphalt, right? So
Yeah,
you wish you
we're
could
just
do it
gonna,
when-
there's gonna be some people that are gonna be hot.
It's understandable.
There's a big PR piece of this, cause they're
Yeah.
just gonna be.
And we're geared up for that. We've talked with the PR firm that we've already got flyers kind of set up. We'll be getting it out to the public and letting them be involved and understand what's going on. That's part of our website also, our new website. We have capabilities with that. We've been pushing and pushing for people to sign up for those alerts so that we can communicate certain things as they're going along. So it's not a one-time communication, which we never had that availability before.
It's the parade.
The parade is the weekend after the 4th, right?
I didn't hear you.
The parade is the weekend after the 4th of July, I think, traditionally, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Kate agrees.
Yeah.
I take it as.
Yeah, so we have we've spoken to the chamber, as far as events that they have going on. And
Good deal.
there's other things to be mindful of, like school, and the buses, whatever, when they come and then when they go in the afternoon. So all of those things are gonna be looked at and communicate with them on that basis. So I guess that's part of just bringing you up to where this is. Stage 3, if we can go into that, it's nothing that has to do with these two agreements today. This is in the future. That is being designed. It's still being talked about with the highway department and so on. What stage 3 is, just real quick, and that is the rest of the force main, and there's a lift station here, lift station 5, that will be rebuilt across the street right here. Bored under the highway, connect into this force main, and then this force main is good all the way to past Mission View. And these manholes are deteriorated, so these will be replaced right here down to lift station 3. Lift station 3 will be replaced with a newer lift station with bigger pumps. And then there'll be a dual force main, because this force main is not big enough. We'll keep it in place and we'll pipe the original flow through that, but we'll run a parallel force main out of that new lift station all the way to the treatment plant through Summers. There'll be a new lift station right here. There's 2 lift stations here now, a booster station and then Summers where they drop in. We're going to combine that and build a new lift station that will handle both of those together. And then the force main will continue on out to the treatment plant. And so that is the 3rd stage that you see in that agreement.
And
That Discovery will be paying for.
they're paying all 3 stages.
They're paying all.
Okay, that was my question. I saw it was very clear on stage 1 and 2.
Well, it's because here's the reason for that. Stage 1 and 2 need to be done now,
Okay.
right? It's because we didn't have the capacity here in the pipe for their first phase. So we probably could have squeezed it, but we wanted to get it done now, and so we separated those stages.
And the district maintains ownership of all those improvements.
And the design, so we control the design, and our engineers are designing it. So that's stage 3, and you'll hear more about that as it goes along, as we get to that point. Any more questions on that before I actually pull up those agreements? and I can tell you about those. Yeah, so these two here are basically, yeah, they're a formality, so they're something that we need to approve the board president to sign, basically. This is an agreement between the owner and construction manager at risk. These are just standard contracts spelling out. So the GCCM is in here and Robert Pesci and Associates, so that's our engineer. Basically just kind of laying out the project, that the owner's the advisor and engineer, who this CMR is, which is Swank. And it just spells out how this process works, right, with the relationship. And then it's also got the budget for that. A lot of words. But the contract price, let me go by that first one. The contract price is $4,084,908. You can see the fixed construction support costs, the $468. That's this part of it here. So you got your bonds and things like that. Gas, diesel, different things that GCCM and our engineers, the inspection stuff that they get paid for. So you can see that dollar amount there. That gets added in right here. And then the cost of the work. See the CMR fee in our GCCM, when we picked Swank, that 4.5% was in that GCCM contract that we signed with them. So that's 154. The cost of the work as far as Strode goes was $3,427,000.
How was it bidding? I mean, was it pretty competitive?
The bidding was real close. Yeah, the first guy that bid it was $300,000 cheaper, who we were going to issue the award to. They actually pulled out the day, almost the same day that it came out. They just got cold feet as far as if they were able to really handle it or not. And Strode was the next in line, and so we've had meetings with them. They're very confident. They have a good plan. The highway department felt better with them as far as their highway plan and how they're going to deal with that. So that's a big deal with this part of the project, obviously, as you just glance at it now. So that's this part. And
That's stage one.
yep. So it's stage one, but it's also then the work authorization document. So they go together. Work authorization one, that's basically that we're authorizing Robert Pesci and Associate as the engineer. Swank is the CMR. The project is for us. And just how those, like the pay apps work, stuff like that, contract times, contract documents, and how they flow. So it's a pretty simplistic, standard document that we've used in the past with them. That's it.
So this basically would authorize us, or the board authorized me to sign it for cash up and do the work on stage one contract for stage one.
Stage one only, yeah.
Correct.
Downtown gravity.
The 1,700 feet, let's just call it Main Street.
Yeah, Main Street. Main Street. I just call it Lakeside proper, but Main Street works.
Feel free if you have questions for Rodney and the board, obviously, on these things.
I don't have any questions.
The board is okay, we'll open it to the public for comments.
Sorry, forgive my ignorance, I'm still learning here, so I got lots of
Just
questions.
state your name again.
Oh, Tanya Kidd, 714 Lakeside Boulevard. So this that you're showing now, the work authorization number one, that's one of the attachments to the agenda, which I have, or I printed out from the agenda. The thing that you were showing before that was called the Lakeside something MAR agreement. right?
Seymour?
Is that correct?
The C-Mart?
Yep, the document?
The thing that you showed, yeah.
This one right here?
Yeah.
The C
Oh.
one?
The long one.
Yep.
This is the Lakeside.
This one, the C-Mart agreement.
Yeah, see,
Oh, CMAR agreement. Okay, so that's the longer one, and it shows the contingency thing at the end that brings it up to
Yep.
whatever million. Okay, and then I just trying to understand. So you mentioned that the Discovery has paid for this, which is the stage 1 and also stage 2 and 3, correct? Discovery paid for 1, 2, and 3
They
already?
haven't paid for that. No, that's.
Oh, I thought you said that.
No, I said that's what they're
Oh,
gonna be
you did.
responsible to pay for.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They'll
As,
be
as we
responsible.
get to those, like right now, they'll be paying for this part of the project.
I see. Okay, so they have.
Stage 1.
Okay, so they haven't paid for it yet, but they're responsible for paying for it because it's in the other agreement.
Correct.
Okay, okay, thank you, sorry. And then, so those numbers, just from like trying to understand like how the numbers fit together on the financial statements, that then, so the 3.5 or the 4, I guess it would be the 4 whatever million for stage 1, is that included in one of these financial statements, like the budget thing, or is it included in these somewhere?
It's not, Tanya, but
Oh, it's
also
not?
this is a comment period, so we really don't have two-way conversations.
Oh, it's not
anymore,
question
so
time.
It's not
Okay.
question time, so but
Okay.
if there's something, yeah, if you have questions, if you want to stop in and ask me questions, you get caught up, you feel free to stop in, I'll answer your questions. But this is public comment, if you have a comment about an actual item. then-
Okay, well, I was just trying to understand, because next we'll be looking at in a couple items, we'll be looking at the budget and so forth, so I was
It
just
has
trying to understand
nothing
if
to do with
numbers
the
will
budget.
be,
I mean, since we're not paying
We're
for
not
it,
paying.
yeah.
so you don't include them on any of the financials, it's like behind the.
We include it after the fact as a capital addition to the district for depreciation purposes.
Okay, thank you.
But you won't see it yet until that gets fully built out.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? No comments? Sorry, that's just a quick question. Hey, what does the board want to do?
I make a motion to authorize work authorization number 1, the Lakeside CMAR agreement and Lakeside collection agreement authorization number 1. Make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Got motion second, those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Moving down to phase 1, change order number 5. It's counting up there, but their money's not really high, I see that, so.
Yeah, there's always a few things. I mean, we've skated along pretty well, so. This is, did I open the right one? Yeah, number 5. So this is for, obviously Swank, so phase 1. This, I should go down to, so this one is for modifying exhaust ductwork. And this is, the ductwork was rerouted and additional ductwork was installed to avoid conflicts between the hoist beams and the ductwork in the headworks building. So we have these hoist beams so you can have a roller hoist on there to be able to pull equipment out. And so the ductwork had to be rerouted around there because of, I guess, just the distance and some other ductwork that was there. So it's an addition for when they have to add, there's quite large, so it's no joke to have to reroute it.
You feel it's legitimate?
And I feel it's legitimate, yeah. It's $2,060. And then the back net device, and this will be on both of these items. This is for the headworks, but it's a controller that was added to the HRV, which is so that it enables the communication with the building automation system, allowing for improved heating systems and control and remote monitoring access. So it ties all of the different temperatures, because there's different rooms within the building, so it ties it all together, and you can communicate, be able to control some of that, and be able to monitor it, because there's exhaust and air exchangers and everything in there. They just, it was recommended by, they didn't, in design, they didn't catch that, but it was recommended by the heating guys, the HVAC guys that were doing the work, and it made total sense to be able to see it all in one place. So, for $1,871. So that's for the headworks. That's number 5. I guess we have them on 2 different line items, right?
Yes.
And I recommend them both.
Any questions from the board? Any public comments? Thank you. Well, you guys okay with change order 5? You know I hate change orders, but these are small ones at least.
We should build a house.
I know.
I'll make a motion to approve change order number 5.
Yes,
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Phase 1 change order number 4, septic.
This is for the septage building. And so the first one is adding plumbing isolation valves, and this is something we were involved with. Feels like you can never have enough when you're trying to isolate something and you have more valves than not enough valves, because then you gotta shut more things down. But this is to do with several isolation valves that were added to the septic piping system to improve accessibility and simplify future maintenance activities. And then again, you have the net controller device at the septic building for the same reason. There's 6 different rooms within that septic building and that are separated because of gases and different things. So you want to be able to monitor what those are doing. So that total is $1,975.
Those are all remote controlled or
Those are-
remote observation?
They're remote, yeah, so we'd be able to see it from here. So our on-call operators would be able to see that too and make changes.
And we still have negative on that one on the
Right.
change orders from the original price.
Right.
Any questions on the board? Any public comments? Go ahead.
Try not for it to be a question, but you said it's 1,000 something?
$1,975.
Okay, so it's these two things together, right? It's number 6 that we're talking about?
This one is change order number 4 on septic.
Change order number 4.
The phase 1 change order number 4, septic, on the agenda.
Oh, okay, and when that prints out, the words don't print out.
Right here, if you look on the
It's the bottom
screen,
page on your stack. Look at the bottom page.
Yeah, when it prints out, the words don't print out for some reason.
This doesn't print out. It shows, but when I printed it, this one printed.
Oh, so sorry, so it's just it's not these two together?
No.
Okay, because they were attached to that item.
if you look on the agenda on the screen,
Yep.
it's this one right here,
Phase 1, change order
number 4.
Yeah, I printed it out, they did it fine.
Okay.
But maybe it was just me.
Okay,
Well,
I'll have to go back and look. The words on the form prints out the actual words, so that's why I'm confused. I apologize.
I don't know.
she's asking
You go
about
by it.
page 6. Is that also what you were asking about?
I'm not-
Okay.
Mine didn't print either, but I don't know why.
I thought we put it online so we don't have to use all that paper.
I know.
No, just kidding.
I printed it twice, thinking it was operator.
I did too. Well, any public comment beyond it then? Otherwise, do we have a motion on phase 1, change order number 4?
I move that we accept change order number 4.
Okay, do we have a second? So a motion motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, thank you. Next item, FY 27 draft budget. Rodney.
There we go. Let's see here. I don't want to go there. I'm going to go here. Okay, well, I'm assuming y'all had time to take a look at it ahead of time. But we can kind of go over these budget notes first before we go into the actual budget itself. Just a few items to call out as far as water revenue. We're expecting a similar growth rate over this next fiscal year as far as hookups go, things like that. Pretty stable. We really won't be expecting anything from Discovery as far as water hookups over the next year. So it'll just be our local things, some of these local developments that are still kind of building out that are up Burning Creek Road and so on. The new increased bulk water rate, the increased revenue, so we added a budget line there on our financials, you'll see. And it's paying off to have it in one location, so it's been good. Sewer revenue, increased revenue per the new base rates for a full year. So Lakeside customers and Summers in a local agreement also. So just to specify what that is when we raised the rate, that $30 last summer, we missed 2 months in the fiscal year by the time that took effect. And so we didn't have a full year on that. So this is a full year with that $30 increase in this budget. And that's in Summers, as far as their increase, it was actually 3 months. So this is going to be a full year of that $30 increase for our ratepayers and the Summers. So that's why you see the revenue difference in there. Just keeping a conservative approach on our earned interest and investments. Just expecting the economy may change some just kind of, we've been earning really good money on those investments up to this point, and hopefully we continue, but I stay pretty conservative generally, and if we get it, great. It's an extra added bonus. Expect similar growth with actual new hookups. I don't expect any Discovery hookups in this fiscal year as far as plant investment fees or as far as just even usage. So this would be just other subdivisions, individual hookups that are along the lake type thing, so just staying conservative there. Water and sewer expenditures, items of note, and again, these are things that are open to the board discussion, obviously. These are things that I put in the budget, added them as notes to be discussed, so that COLA increase is something that I suggested based on the economy, based on the national average, based on what other, Kalispell's doing, Whitefish doing, based on what it feels like here in Lakeside. The clothing allowance increase from 600, that's the clothing allowance we give the operators, so at Murdoch's and Army Navy, basically, so they can get work clothes from $600 to $700, just a pair of,
per year.
That's per year. Yeah, so that's winter clothes, summer clothes, shoes, boots, things like that. It's a dirty business, so it helps them out a lot to be able to go in and get the clothes they need.
And anything beyond that, is on their dime.
It's on their dime, yeah. New part-time, okay, so this one, so we have a new part-time operator, 3 days a week, flexible in that week. And what I want to start out with in this is that it feels like we're hiring a whole lot of people between the last few months, but we lost another one. So we've lost 2 people, which one of them was a real surprise. The other one had just other aspirations, and it was a disappointment, but at the same time, with a lot of the changes we've been making and the things expected of them getting higher, and just he just got disenfranchised with his job, so to speak. So we still have people that we have been interviewing, right? So we still really have never closed out the job market thing, and so we've got 2 new people that have been here for almost 3 months, Max and Whitney. They're doing fantastic. So it's exciting to see them learning and getting up to speed. We did hire a part-time. Where we're lacking there is Cody's the only guy training right now with these 2 people, and so we needed somebody with some mechanical skills. And this guy is kind of like one of those farm guys that is good with electricity, he's good with pumps, he's good with, and so he can really just come out the gate and help shore up that for, you know, the next 5 years or so. And training new people.
Duct tape and baling wire?
Duct tape and baling wire. So the budget has that in there. And then we also have another operator position starting July 27, but we may actually, we don't want to turn down somebody that's really good right now that we might feel. So we are still interviewing a couple people at the moment. So it could potentially happen sooner, so I want to kind of present it that way, that to get your blessing on that. But in the budget, it shows hiring in July of 27.
So that was not a misprint.
Sorry.
26 versus 27.
Sorry, the part-time operator starting July 27. The new full-time operator position is starting April 27, sorry.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so that's the one that I want to preference that is if we found the right person, we may hire him sooner, and to get your blessing on that.
I get what you're saying.
That is a typo. Part-time guy starting July 26. It's
Oh,
FY
sorry, that's
27.
a
We
typo.
get confused because we're
is.
starting FY
It
27.
is a
So
typo.
yes.
Okay, but the next, number 4, that's
But
still
number 4 is
27,
correct, yes.
Sorry.
provided if the right individual came along.
Yep. Yep, that's 26, sorry.
Because
Yeah.
fiscal year starts July 1.
Okay,
July
so we're
1,
in
that's
27.
July 1.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so new full-time operator could potentially start sooner than April 27 if we found the right person. Flathead, and again, that's about ramping up, being ready, being trained, going forward. Our phase 1 with the new headworks is going to be done in beginning of September. So there's going to be things to learn in there, and then being ready as they're building out phase 2 in 27. So Flathead Electric sent a notice increasing 5.5%. So that's across the board with everything we have. We also expect an increased cost due to the new headworks building with all the screening and smell removal and the different mechanical functions that happen out there that are in addition to what we do today. And that'll include propane and natural gas also. So one of those, the headworks has natural gas and the septic has propane. So it was ridiculous to try to get natural gas over to the to the septic building.
Really?
Yeah, it was really weird.
I thought it was in the highway.
Yeah. Increased repair and maintenance for water. We need to do a little more repair and maintenance, just kind of schedule stuff, some valves and things that we know that aren't working the best. And so we've had quite a few water leaks over the last fiscal year, and so we just felt we needed to add to that a bit, and spend a little more money there. Increased fuel prices, so the budget increase of about 30%.
It's going down though.
Yeah, it's going down, right? Yeah, we'll see. Let's hope.
Fuel,
Fuel, gas.
propane should go down too then.
We hope. Still keeping some money in there for legal challenges, obviously. We used to just carry about $12,000 in there over the years, just in case, but obviously we have more legal challenges. Potentially. Wastewater Phase 1 SRF first loan payment, July and December of '26. So that is included in there. You'll see that line item on the budget. Any questions on that? On any of the items noted? Good. Were there any questions on the budget statement? So you'll see, obviously, if you followed it through or looked at it, we have two funds. We have a water fund and a sewer fund, just for clarification. So I always try to call that out so you can see what that is. This is the water fund. This is our current budget that we're operating under right now, $528,600 as far as revenue. And the preliminary budget is $567,400. So that's metered water. That's just customer water. The user base that we have, and then you'll see the new line for the bulk water, $12,000. And we never had enough money to call a budget line out for bulk water, so this will keep us to be able to track that also. And that's where you see like the revenue from plant investment fees. Current budget was $28,000. Current year to date, we're at $15,400. But so you see about 7% increase in water revenue. And then you got expenditures for water. You got your depreciation in there, which is around $130,000. Total expenditures of $535,257. And less the expenditures, we show a positive of $32,143. And that's with the depreciation. So we're covering 100% depreciation and gaining $32,000. So that's a good thing. Any questions on water? We'll move on to sewer. Sewer, same thing. Our current budget, total revenue was $1,946. Current year to date, we're at $1,423,000. You see the preliminary budget of $2,383,600. Again, that's with revenue with the full increase for a full year. So you'll see that just in the service fee, but then you'll also see it with the district contract, which is Summers. So then you'll see the interest income at 100. You can see my budget was 100 before, but we have 187,900. Revenue from plant investment fees. Some of that plant investment fee money is pertaining to the Discovery Land Agreement. So there's, once they get preliminary plat approval for their phase 1 and 2, they will owe the plant investment fees per the agreement for those. So they've already paid the out-of-district fees up front when they signed the agreement. So that's a trigger point that they pay the plant investment fees for those fees. So I would expect that in this budget cycle at some point. And then you got the expenditures. Depreciation is $270,000. Total expenditures $1,125,000. You can see our current budget was $975,000. We're under that right now at $848,000 with one month to go. So revenue less expenditures, $1,258,414. And again, we're obviously we're ramping up. That was the reason for the $30 increase, is so that we can begin to have enough money to pay this extra electric, gas, things like that,
Right.
and to have some backup funds. That's on the website too, by the way, Tanya.
Well, I didn't see it before this, only the 2026 one was posted on the agenda, so I didn't get to see the 2027 till
When you
just
go
now.
into the agenda,
Yeah.
there's a trick. There's like little boxes.
Yeah, yeah,
If you click on those, you'll get to these.
I did, I printed all those, but I didn't get, it's a different version, it didn't have 26, 27 on it, it had 25, 26.
I got
Yeah,
you.
because I have it, I was looking at it on my
That's
phone,
what I
and
have
that's why I
too.
wasn't
I wonder if you gotta
understanding.
clear your cookies or something. Be-
Because it doesn't match that at all. Because it doesn't have 26 at fiscal
Oh,
year
you're right.
26.
26, 27,
I'm
yeah.
sitting here
There's
looking
no-
at your big screen, and on my computer, it does say, on my
Yeah.
iPad, it does say
Yeah,
25,
that's the one
26.
I got
Yeah,
too.
You're
so
correct.
we haven't
They've
really
got the
been
two
able to look
different
at that.
Yes, the one that, yeah.
How does, hold on here.
I don't know.
So you're saying when you
Yeah,
click
it's the
right
same
here?
Click the second one over. Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel better about losing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry. We will correct that so that you can print out the correct one.
Okay, thanks.
I didn't catch that either.
I was staring at
Well,
the screen.
I don't look at that. I look at what I got in the box when I gave
That was
her.
like, those sound the same.
We'll correct it though.
But by the
You'll be
time I
able
got to those
we'll get
attachments,
it out
I
there.
was
We'll put a
fried.
correction on the website that we've got updated financials on there. In the meantime, if you want to take, did you get your picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the, I don't know if that other one is wrong too, but this is,
How they both work.
any, on the sewer, were there any comments from the board on the sewer? Okay. So this is the expenditure budget, water and sewer combined. Sometimes it's just nice to see them combined instead of separate. So you can see the current budget for expenditures was $1,470,000. The preliminary budget is for $1,660,443. And you can kind of see the increases, here's your electricity and so on, the combined depreciation expense. Any question on those?
No.
Will that one also be updated? Because that was the combined, and the other two were
If-
individual
if-
ones,
if
and none of
they're-
them were the 27 version.
Yeah, if they're
Okay.
wrong, then yeah, we'll look at them, make sure they're all updated. Let's see, actually, that's only, yeah. So the capital improvement plan that's that we're kind of pushing with it, and I call it 5-year on the water, I didn't do a 5-year. water system, our PRVs, which is what they're called, the clay valve PRVs, and then we have Golden Anderson. They're different manufacturers, they're complete different. Weight, pressure reducing valves, but they're different manufacturers, different sizes, you can see here. They're all old, for one. The Golden Andersons, being that they're old and they're completely different than the clay valve, we have more clay valves in the system. You can see we have 19 of them. Golden Anderson, we have 4. We want to replace those over this 3-year period.
We like the clay valves.
The clay valve is, yeah, the Golden Anderson has leather type gaskets. They leak. They're a constant nightmare to maintain. They get clogged up easy with little grit and granules and things like that. And we're constantly maintaining them. So we'd like to replace those with current clay valve, and that way we can have interchangeable parts and all that kind of stuff. We have, and then the clay valves that we do have, the 19 valves, we want to rebuild, a contract with the clay valve company to rebuild those valves for $15,600 in this fiscal year. We would like to replace the 10-inch Golden Anderson valve this year for $22,900, and then replace these other ones in the coming years. Spread that cost over those years.
That was on the budget now.
Yeah. So these are capital improvements, right? So yeah, they show up differently as far as on the budget and the way they're expensed. But I'll show you so we have money in the I didn't show that, did I? I should go there first. So you can see our cash. Here's water and sewer. Cash available today, $413,622 in water. Proposed expenditures and so on. AR outstanding, we show $382,754. So we have money to spend in water to cover those capital improvements, along with the investment money that we'll receive to handle that. So the total in fiscal year 27 for water is $38,500 for those items. The sewer, you got 27 here. So as far as buildings go, this main office up front here, once what we're looking at doing when the septage is completed this fall, there's an office in the septage building. We won't be able to take septage, but the building will be fully functional. So we want to, because we have the operator stuffed into that back room back there, it's really tight, and there's just not the room to work around. We may use that office out there in the septage building, and would like to take that time to remodel that bathroom that Rebecca in the front office use, and the operators that'll still maintain an office back there. And so that's $30,000 there, but we're looking at maybe wanting to do that in fiscal year 28. That'll be when they're full on out there treatment site, and we'll have the space fully freed up here to be able to do that kind of work. And then office furniture, computer equipment for the treatment site, cost $20,000. We'd like this year for that office space in the septage building to be able to buy a few things to make that operational there. And then in 28, as it begins to ramp up out there and the treatment plant is built and that office is built, there's going to be some need there to furnish that into 2029. So Because the treatment plan itself for the SBR is that there will be an office and a meeting room out there for training and stuff like that, so that'll have to be furnished also. And then as far as equipment goes, solids handling truck, possibly a skid steer, depending on how that fully plays out in the solid handling. And as far as we're looking at possibly using a dumpster service to haul that solids to the biosolids to the landfill. If that doesn't work out, we may end up getting our own truck and taking it ourselves. But we would still need a skid steer to load those biosolids into the dumpster or the truck. So that we'll know that by 28 for sure. But this is just kind of a goalpost in there, $100,000, and that potentially, that's the other thing. These things here are going to be happening with district funds that we have. This solids handling skid steer more than likely is going to be handled with grant or SRF loan funding, in the phase of the project, or partial district half. So we'll have to see. New portable generator. We found that our portable generator in that storm we had in December was just about useless for every place it was needed. It's okay for a few small things, like you have an outage in one of some of our locations have generators on site and they handle that location. The portable generator is meant for a portable outage at one of our remote lift stations type thing where the power went out over, on Stoner Creek Road, and we have to pull that over there and power that lift station. But when everything goes down and the bigger locations go down or a generator don't start, we had to rent 3 other generators for that situation.
If you find it.
Yeah.
If you find it, yeah.
And so we would like to upgrade that generator to a larger generator. We can still use that generator.
So you would be keeping the.
We would keep it. We would use it for our smaller locations, but we need a generator that's big enough to handle some of our other locations if that were to happen. Even a water well location that doesn't have a generator. So and again, I have district funds on there, but we are in the process right now of maybe recouping around $12,000 that it cost us in that storm to rent generators and things, and we found out that we might be able to submit for a new generator in that process. So that's something that kind of just new information. So we're just continually working different avenues, but that's it's just a target on here to have to look at. And then I guess the big one is meter replacements. Sewer handles all the meters because we have meters on everything in the whole system, and so sewer is responsible for keeping our meters up to snuff. That's how we do our billing. We have about 650 meters out there that are made up of 4 different manufacturers and 4 different styles of meters that are aging in all different ways. And so monthly, we have Rebecca in the front office. After we read meters, we have meters that quit working, and so we're constantly trying to, try to keep our head above water there as far as those meters. And
There's
so
a
we
water
have,
meter for the sewer system.
they're water meters, but they measure the water going in so we can bill sewer. Right, so they're just handled. We capitalize them in the sewer part of our financials. And so what we'd like to do is replace those through 5 years, which would be about $45,000 a year for those 5 years to take care of those 650 meters. And that will bring us up to date And it's actually kind of nice to do them over the years, that way they don't all age at the same time. So you're not stuck with a, $500,000 project.
It's all gonna be mag meters now, or they're still meters with propellers in?
They all got propellers in them, yeah, but they're the Metron Fournier, they're the ones that we've gone with, but they'll all be virtual network meters, so that we won't have to really physically go out.
They'll report back.
Yep, they'll report
Through the cell.
right to Rebecca's
Perfect.
front desk, and we've already got, I think, 400 of those out there. And so this will complete that. And because all of our new meters that get sold for new houses that have get the new style meter.
Great.
So that's 260?
260,000.
260,000, and it's 45,000 for the next 5 years?
Correct.
Spread over it, yeah.
But 45 times 5 is 225,000, right? Or am I doing that math wrong?
Is there money,
The what? Sorry, I will.
So 45 times 5 is 225,000. Is that correct? Am I like messing up on my math?
Yeah, you're probably right, because I didn't update the cost of that project. I had a different number in there for 45,000. That was larger in here, and I backed it off to the 650, when I went back in on the 650 meters. So that cost of the project, 260, should be lower.
Should be 225?
Yep.
225.
Correct. It should be. I had, I think it was 55,000 in there,
Okay.
and when I was doing the draft, anyway.
We'll fix that too.
We'll fix it. Good catch. Also, it's been a stretch to get these to the point of scanning them in to hit the agenda. So some of our little mistakes is to meet the agenda deadline last Thursday was like mass chaos with a bunch of other things that were going on. So I'm not trying to cast blame, I'm just trying to take a little weight off my shoulders for these mistakes. So with that, are there any questions on any of these, of the budget notes, any of these items? I guess they're all included in the budget.
Do we know the percentage increase overall, or do you know that?
Of what, Mark?
Or just the overall budget increase? Do you have a number or an average?
Right here, it's for, not the percentage, but the expense, the expense combined is $1,660,000, but if you look on,
That's what it's, okay.
the budget notes, I gotta scroll back up, sorry. Yeah, so the revenue for water, 107%, so 7% increase in revenue. And total expenses, 8% on the water.
And that includes all the wage increases for the employees?
Correct, because we lost 2 employees and we got 2 new employees with a different rate and so on. So that also includes the 3.5%, remember, of COLA.
Any reason that the people left, that the wages are not keeping?
No, it wasn't.
Just maybe Garth knows this too, it's been always, and you know, you live here, so you know how it is. It's hard when you're required to live almost as an operator here in the district when you have to afford a house. In the recent past, we had issues where lift stations had only such a reaction time. Basically, you had to be there within so many minutes, otherwise you potentially could have a spill. And so they were definitely required to be here. Now we have better telemetry, we have ways that they can remote control it, but it's still of an issue that, when they have to live here, it's tough, yeah.
Yeah.
And to keep them here,
Yeah.
based on other people trying to steal them,
Yeah.
so, which is a real thing
Mhm.
in the valley. So, yeah, especially when they start getting the licenses that we require for the new sewage plant. So they're pretty sought after licenses. So this, yeah, the sewer mark, total revenue is 22% increase. What expenditure, 15% increase there.
Any more questions from the board, or
I don't,
no public comments?
Public comment, Tammy and Kid, 714 Lakeside Boulevard, of course. Sorry. Just two things. Number one, so the bathroom, so the bathroom thing is 30,000, and then is it the same bathroom that's the 15,000? Because it's like split up between the water and the sewer.
The two funds, yes,
Okay, so it's both together. So the whole bathroom thing is 45.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just trying to understand how these are
Yep.
split apart.
There's two, because water pays a percentage of things that go together, that they both use.
Yeah, okay.
When it's an
Okay.
item that they both use.
Got it. I'll get used to that. Okay, so that explains that other one, and then I guess my other comment is, since the budget, the actual, so I'm guessing that the next thing is you're going to ask these folks to approve the budget, the 2027 budget, but since it wasn't posted on the website or posted, I mean, it would seem like you might want to table that until next time so people actually have a chance to look at it, unless they feel like they've had a chance now. Because personally, I would be like wanting to, see it more than on the screen and like, oh, just so I could understand it. So that would be my other public comment, to please make sure that stuff's updated on the website, especially something as important as like the budget. I know it was a mistake, and then, whether or not to vote on it now or table it. That's all. Thank you.
Good point.
Mhm.
Kate Droll, 501 Archery. Most of my comments centered around needing actuals for fiscal year 26, which no, your list was a glitch, so I'm gonna not touch on that. But my other request would be, there was like the budget notes that where you raised like significant issues and highlighted different changes, and I think if you associate dollar amounts with that, it would assist the board and the public to understand what are these like real costs to us. Yes, we know that we need to hire a new operator. I have no idea what an operator makes and what that actually would impact the numbers. And now I do understand that I have a screenshot of the 26 numbers and I can see the increase, but I don't know, is that going to actually increase sooner rather than later? Because there is the new part-time operator coming in July of 26, but there is also a second hire that might come sooner rather than later, and is that actually in those budget numbers for fiscal year 27? Or is it based off of that they're not going to start until mid-year next year? I also noticed that you indicate that fuel costs go up 30%. Are we assuming the fuel costs are going to go back down? Because when you look at the updated fiscal year 27 budget numbers, it's not showing a 30% increase in the budget over what the actual for 26 was spent. And I didn't get a chance to check the electric rates to see if it's been adjusted, or it's a true 5.5% increase over last year, to make sure that I guess it's in there, knowing that it's
Just
going to
checking
be
the
higher.
vehicle allowance, or which one?
This was I'm just going off the budget notes and the things that Rodney had noted that we know are increasing, and then trying to run those numbers against the actual spend for fiscal year 26 to make sure that the fiscal 27 year budget has been updated to reflect those known increases.
Okay.
I also did have a question, and I can't answer questions, about the SRF loan payment, because fiscal year 27 it's showing 70K, but 26 I think it was 25. is it I don't know anything about that loan and
Yes.
whether or not it's an escalation or is it like two payments or?
Well, the loan still hasn't been, it's a $1.3 million loan. So that was just a portion of, because as the loan gets spent, so in fiscal year '26, it was just a portion of the loan.
Got it.
So this is the loan being fully realized.
Okay,
Next year, yeah.
thank you.
The board, is it gonna mess us up with it related by money?
The only thing it is payroll on the first payroll, which is on the 15th. And so the board meeting's after that, but so that would be the only thing with the 3.5% COLA.
Isn't, I thought state law said that we have, at least the city was this way, we may be different. We had to pass the preliminary budget before the 1st. And then you have the ability to go back and do your amended final budget in July, August.
Which you can, we could do that, which would be helpful. We can put it back on the agenda.
Correct,
in
if you've
July.
got some changes and you
Put
can
it-
do some budget amendments.
Update the website,
Yeah.
have the new documents back on the,
That would
And-
mitigate any payroll issues, right?
yep.
Yes, it would take care of your payroll issues to let that go through and, that's one thing I would definitely not be wanting to take out because people deserve their cost of living
I think that's a
increase.
great way to go about it,
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned. Is not that right?
but that's how we would do the cities and you'd be surprised, you had very, very few changes. But I mean, if you needed to make a $1,200 adjustment, you could do it through the
Yes.
budget amendments.
Yep.
Okay. Well, do you wanna make a motion to that effect?
Yes, I would make a motion that we vote on the proposed 2026-27 preliminary budget for the Lakeside Water and Sewer District.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. General manager, staff.
I just, I don't really have a report other than just to let you know that the DEQ posted the environmental assessment along with comments for phase 2 of the treatment plant. So they gave us the go-ahead. They will now continue reviewing our plans for that. So they're answering questions for those plans now. So the DEQ's had them, but without the environmental assessment being approved and posted with those comments, they couldn't really finish the process of approving the plans and going through all those details. So, good news on that.
Rebecca, do you have any comment? No? Any other items? Otherwise, next board meeting would be Tuesday, July 21st, 2026. Everybody expect this to be around, or is everybody
That's too far away from me.
I'll be here.
Okay, with that, I guess we adjourn. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Back to work.
Just any